What's up, y'all? Welcome to The Modern Builder. I'm your host, Adam Stark, also host of Veterans Who Build Show. Today, we're chatting about this concept of learning a platform, right? This seemingly has created a significant barrier to entry for the real estate development and construction industry. And my statement, right, my controversial statement here is going to be this barrier to entry of learning systems is what is causing our industry to remain as a quote unquote laggard, right? To remain as a tech laggard. Before we jump in, before I elaborate on that, just want to have a shout out to our sponsors, Jet.Build. Thank you to our channel sponsors, Jet.Build. If you're looking for ways to better manage your real estate development and construction projects, look no further. Jet is the command center software for end-to-end real estate development and construction management. That's www.jet.build. All right. So what do I mean by learning systems, right? Let's go step by step here. So first and foremost, I'm going to put rocket science aside. I'm going to put complex modeling aside and focus the conversation on management platforms, right? Project management, construction management, development management platforms, right? That's the focus of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about systems that you really do need, a degree for, or, a year or whatever lengthy amount of time of learning to understand how to operate it. Now I'm talking about management systems, right? Core management system. So the way I see it is in this ironic scenario that we're in right now, you have majority, if not all, of the major companies, the enterprise companies, the industry leaders as developers and general contractors and even probably trades too. I'll throw them in the mix as well. The industry leaders, right? All of these leaders are operating on dated, outdated, clunky, difficult to understand, price gouging core technology stack. What do I mean by that? Their core management solutions are outdated and their price points are egregious. So why am I bringing that up? What does that mean for the context of this conversation? I bring that up because the outdated nature of these products, of these legacy solutions that are adopted by our industry leaders, are complicated. They're not easy to run. They are what is essentially causing this misconception of learning a system, time to learn a system. Teams don't know how to use a system, right? It's the barrier of entry for modern tech, for new tech. Now it's twofold on that barrier of entry, right? It's what I just said in terms of it's caused a mental block, a conception, preconceived notion that adopting tech is going to be a barrier because you need to learn the system. Teams are not going to know the system. They're not going to understand how to use the system, et cetera, blah, blah. Right now, that's part one. Now, part two to it is these legacy systems are charging, what was that saying, an arm and a leg, right? They're gouging, they're absorbing all of budget, all of tech budget, right? All of innovation budget for these companies. So what does that do? It doesn't allow these companies to adopt modern tech. It doesn't allow them to test other tech because their budgets are already consumed by this core tech stack, right? Now to put this into, I don't know, some form of context that we can all understand because we all use it, right, is a smartphone. Yeah. So on two fronts, the smartphone makes sense as a comparable, just for contextual sake. So first of all, if I handed you a new smartphone, right, today, let's say you're using an Android or an iPhone, doesn't matter. I hand you the new version of that. Is it going to take you a day, a week, a month, a year to learn how to send a text message, send an email, take an image, send that image, make a calendar invite, make a meeting, search a keyword, right? What am I bringing? I'm bringing up core management, right? Core use of a phone, right? If for some crazy reason, whatever it may be, let's say you're switching from an older Android and now you're about to be using a brand new iPhone, you think you need more than 30 minutes, more than an hour to just someone onboard, someone train you how to use that phone? Yeah, fine. Take your 30 minutes, take your hour. Right? That's great, right? Inconsequential. Same thing for this construction management, development management, project management concept. Everybody who's going to be onboarded to this system understands a system, whether that be an email system, whether that be an Excel system, whether that be some PDF system, whether that be another software, legacy software, right? So you think that when modern tech comes around, hands you a cost-effective rate for a modern management solution, you think that's going to be weeks and months and years for your team to learn it up, to understand how to respond to a task, to create an RFI, to log a daily report, to log an incident, to upload an image? You think that the same teams that are building your hospitals, that are building your 60 floor high rise skyscrapers, you think they can't pick up a modern solution that's doing all of the same things that they're already used to doing, but simpler? Guys, we got to move, guys and gals, we got to move away from this concept, this notion of we can't adopt that. I mean, the team's got to learn it, right? Team's going to learn it. That's too much time. It's time and cost. Team's not going to get on board with this product. They don't know how to use it. Come on. I mean, there's going to be a time. There's going to be an inflection point, right? For many, it's already happened. There's going to be an inflection point where these price gouging legacy softwares, these systems, are going to be the past, right? I mean, once upon a time, the BlackBerry was the smartphone, right? What happened to that? It's the same thing. These systems are built in a clunky manner that has caused the industry to believe, it allowed the industry to believe, it allowed the industry to create the excuse of, we're not tech savvy. Team's not going to know how to use it. Come on. It's a terrible excuse, right? Not to mention I've yet to come across a modern technology that's charging more for the legacy, right? You have some things that are cool when they're vintage, right? You have vintage guitars. Vintage guitars are cool. You got vintage artwork. Great. That's awesome. A nice vintage car. That's cool. What's not cool is vintage technology. Unless it's sitting on your counter or you're selling it on eBay, right? Vintage technology, that's the core tech stack of your company, right? If your business is running on vintage technology, that's not cool in any circumstance. That's not a vintage Gibson guitar, and that's not a vintage Picasso, right? That's your company running on a vintage BlackBerry. Yeah, so what do we got here? We got this issue where companies, industry, and in my opinion, this is all top down. This is all led by the industry leaders, right? The largest companies on the development and on the construction side of things, all of them are running on vintage technology. They're all running their operations off of BlackBerries, right? So for them, their excuse top down meaning it's their excuse, so therefore it's everyone else's to play into, is no, the team's not, they're not tech savvy. The team's not gonna get it, right? Nah, this new system, they got to learn. They're not gonna get it, right? Yeah, I'm calling straight up BS on that, and I'm seeing that BS realized every day, right? I'm seeing companies onboard new tech, modern tech, and I'm seeing it work. So it's time to move past that mindset, right? It's time to forego that mindset, leave it behind, let the Blackberries be the Blackberries. It's 2024. It's time to act like it's 2024. Yeah. Now, side two of this, the ironic part is you have these legacy software companies, innovation for industry, innovation for companies, for the way we build, for blah, blah, blah. Take a look at their platforms. There's nothing, I mean, I can't not laugh. There's nothing innovative about it. It's hard to look at. These are marketing companies. Yeah, all of their spend, all their dollars, right, that you, the client, are paying for is going into their front-facing website. It's going into their annual trade shows, right? It's not going into the product. Take a look at the product. Take a look at that. Take a look at any modern tech, right? So the ironic fact here, the ironic circumstance is you have the quote unquote leaders in innovation, these legacy softwares serving the leaders in the industry on the development and construction side, right? The largest companies creating this essentially marketing ploy where everyone believes that these legacy tech companies are innovating, whereas in reality, they're causing friction, they're handcuffing, right? They're causing friction by creating a difficult to understand product, therefore leaving industry to presume products are difficult to understand and adopt. And the other friction that they're causing is price point, right? So you have industry leaders priced out just on their core tech, just on their core tech stack, right? They're priced out with just your pure construction project development management. No room for your niche products to integrate because, again, you're priced out. And even when these niche products integrate, it's clunky. Why? Because you got your brand new Samsung, your brand new iPhone trying to speak to your BlackBerry. It's not going to play nice. It'll play, it just won't play nice. And that kind of efficiency gap and not being able to speak to one another properly, right? We're talking about legacy technology and the modern technology. I mean, that's critical, right? Those are critical data points that could be lost, could be mismanaged, could be not read appropriately. And even if it is read appropriately, you're getting gouged. You're getting price gouged, right? Priced out of the ability to leverage more technology, to leverage a full tech stack. So what would that, full tech stack look like? What am I talking about in terms of ideal scenario? What that looks like is you take your core management solution, right? Take a modern core management solution, start with that. Now, as you need specific niche solutions for your teams, or if your teams are using them and you want, this central dashboard, or even just as your project progresses, you might want different things, you might need different things. So now you have the space, you have the budget space and the flexibility of the tech to start purchasing and start integrating. That's what it looks like, right? And integrating properly. I'm not talking about generic marketplace integrations that are good for no one. I'm talking about you interact with the companies, you tell them what you need and what you're doing, and let the integration be, right? Let that integration get sorted for you. and your team and your project. So that's the ideal scenario. It's to say, use modern tech, believe that your team can use that modern tech, right? Start with that modern core solution, just using an iPhone as an example again, right? Go to your app store and start leveraging the marketplace. Granted, in this scenario, that's custom, right? That's the point. Because you can, right? Because they're modern technologies that are meant to flex to your project. They're built specifically for the industry, specifically for how you're managing projects, right? So to close out, summary on what we're saying here is we got to move past, right? It's 2024. We're moving past this conception, this notion of it's a learning curve. Like the team's not going to get it. No, the team is going to get it, right? Start looking at modern tech. Start understanding what that process looks like. Start simple. Start one project. See how that works with your team, and then start rolling it out. Save yourself a ton of budget. Get off of legacy software. Start with that modern core tech stack. Start simple one project. Start looking at the marketplace of what other technologies you all of a sudden could afford, right? And see how that pushes you to the future. See how that saves you real time, provides you with real data, and allows you to build better. Ariel, thank you for joining. Please, a reminder to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, to comment if you have any comments, questions, other topics you'd like me to cover. A big shout out to the Veterans Who Build show, which is about to air real soon in the coming weeks. I'm really excited about the content that we're producing. I'm really excited to share it with you all. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining. See you real soon. Be well.